Hi, you are watching The Savera. This is Amarpal Singh. Three criminal laws: भारतीय न्याय संहिता, भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा संहिता, भारतीय Sakshya Adhiniyam. These three criminal laws have come into effect, and Punjab police, they have started registering cases under these new laws. So if we talk about Ludhiana police have registered as of now around 7 cases under these new laws in last 2 days. So these three laws, these are to replace the Indian Penal Code, Code of Criminal Procedure, which is also called CRPC, and Indian Evidence Act. So what kind of impact these three new criminal laws will have on the legal system? So to know this, we are having with us a senior advocate, Harish Dhanda. Sir, welcome to The Savera.
Thank you, Ji.
Sir, how you see these three new laws and what kind of impact it will have on general public as well as on legal system?
You see, initially we are grappling to learn the names. As I could see you reading the names.
Right.
So at that time, I was also reading names from here. So we will get accustomed in a time about the names. Now the question is, these have replaced three laws. And predominantly, these are similarities. Most of the provisions are almost same.
Okay.
There are some changes. Now, some changes are the changes which were required also. Like, for example, in Evidence Act, it was to be updated with the latest technique and technologies and the available tools at the hands of legal profession. Like, for example, the electronic communication, its proof thereof, then the copies generated by electric. So how to prove? Earlier there was not there.
Right.
There's a mess over there. Then in the procedure also they have made a changes, and it's claimed that the judge will pronounce a judgment in a time-bound manner and so on. And even in the criminal aspect, the IPC part, which is now the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, in this there are the certain new definitions, that is of terrorism. Then there is a with the international laws compatible. Earlier the crime could have been committed by the child 7+, now it has been made 12+.
Right.
And similarly, the juveniles for a crime has been changed. A victim is a juvenile or is a child, age wise the penal laws are more strict.
Right.
So that's they have tried to do. They have tried to explain the terrorism, though sedition part has been withdrawn, but it has been replaced by aggression against the state.
Right.
And then if someone undermines the authority of a state, so it's a very clear definitions are there. It will take considerable time to see what is the impact of these laws. Now certain people have apprehensions that these will be misused, so even a police has given more handle. And
Right.
one thing is very good, that you can register the complaint and subsequently convert into FIR, which should have been there earlier. 154 was only dealing with that. Now new provisions have been made, and of course the apprehensions are truthful, but I don't agree with them. The earlier laws were also draconian. If police arrests someone, the magistrate doesn't interfere. He gives their remand in a more mechanical manner, like a chaff cutter. If some fodder is put, they will cut it out. That's all what it is. And if this, the question is, the judiciary has to be sensitized to see that these laws are not misused. For example, the laws have to be made realistic. Now, in Narcotics Act, there is a provision that only the gazetted officer can have search and seizure. And then he gives the option to the person, do you want that someone judicial officer should do it, or I can do it? Has anyone till date said that you cannot do it? So they are forcibly made to put the signatures. Then there is another provision of making a video recording.
Right.
And then these are checks created. If you for a recovery also there will be video recording, for a statement also there will be video recording, then that will be put on the portal of the police also, so that they preserve it. There are good things also. There seems to be certain unrealistic things, like the order will be passed in that time. Even CPC earlier has got this provision. Who passes order in that? No one passes. And what stops the judge from writing at further arguments? They hear the arguments and they put it as the for the remaining arguments. And practical compulsions are there with the judicial officers. They need time to study, they need time to dictate, they are overburdened. Laws should be realistic. Like, for example, now in the Wildlife Act, there is a permission for vermines, you can kill them. There's like wild boar or the blue bull. And then they say, you take a report from the panchayat that these animals have increased. How can panchayat give that? Then they say you can only given the permit if you have a rifle. Invariably, it's with a 12 bore. Then you can eat the animal also, but you will intimate to the DFO. DFO will come, he will have inspection. Impractical things. Right. If you think vermin is a vermin, declare it, that's all. Let people shoot them. They should apply and get a shooting license, that's all. Shooting license you are getting for the purpose that how many shooters are there. And for a shooting license, you also collect a fee. So it's a source of income also. So similarly, laws have to be well researched before laws are made. And I am amazed that you see, it's a good thing to say our colonial cloak has been shed, and it's by the Indian names. No harm. I don't mind it. It's appreciable also. But the question is, you go through the law commission reports, you go through the standing committee reports. Why don't you give research to the students? Is the Narcotics Act doing good? After Narcotics Act, the crime of the peddling has increased rather than decreasing. I personally feel that Narcotics Act is the biggest reason of this so much drugs in the world. The Clinton, unmindful, he brought these laws, and these laws have created havoc in the world because the drug has become dearer, because the punishment is more. When it becomes dearer, then the big elements come. Then mafia comes. Then mafia runs the show. No one knows who's the boss, who is running. The peddlers don't know. They don't come in touch. You arrest the peddlers, that's all. So ultimately now these European countries in Western world have started allowing marijuana, permitting it up to 25 grams. If you have, it's not a culpable. You can consume it, meaning thereby law allows you to consume it. You cannot have prohibitory laws. Similarly, I think this is a good attempt, but not a excellent work.
Like how what will be the challenges for the enforcement agency and judicial system? Because it take years to study proper laws, sections, and now there is add up of technology in the investigation process. So whether our enforcement agencies, they are well equipped for that?
Enforcement agencies are most ill-equipped. It's a high time you have enforcement agencies separated from the law and order police. It's high time. It's high time that they become accountable. It's high time that police should not indulge in padding and other things. I watch daily. The false cases are registered. The political influence, they register the case, and no one listens to you. They have such a high-handedness of police, no one listens to you. But these magistrates are very casual. The courts are very casual on this. Perjury probably is only on the law book. No one takes it seriously. Has there been any punishment of perjury in this country? I've never seen. Right. Rarest of rare. Courts take it very lightly. Anyone can appear in a court, make a false statement and get away. You have to make people accountable. So then look at this. It has having a multiple effect. You record false cases, then it goes to court. Court is not ready to see at the stage of charge. They frame the charge. Similarly, in civil cases, they frame the issues. Right. If something can be decided at the threshold, why waste the times of the court in recording evidence? This cumbersome system of recording evidence. When there is a not proper investigation agency, it leads to multiplicity of litigation. Half of the cases need not come to the court. They should be closed, but police doesn't do it.
Do you feel it is early to implement these new laws because taking the technology matter or taking that whether the staff is trained for this?
Everyone gets trained. You see, I came in profession 1982. So 1976, you had amendment of CRPC. In 1982, still we used to quote old sections for the purpose that the old section was this, the new section is this. The law was not available on this particular provisions of law. So we used to quote the old laws under the old CRPC. Similarly now, what we will do is, there is a little change in the wording of sections. Twinkle here, twinkle there. And then what we will do is, presently we don't have any judgments on this. So we will have to quote the old comparative. It will go for 8-10 years. Then ultimately laws will be settled, the explanation and definitions will be settled, and it will move on. It's a question of moving on. Every police officer will come to know of it within 1 or 2 months. Every lawyer will come to know of it within 1 or 2 months. And within 1 year, everyone will be well abreast with these laws. It's not much well abreast. The question is, would it really do good than the other laws which it is replacing? So, and unmindful, we like there was a provision in CPC for better particulars. Now, invariably, lawyers used to file applications for delay purpose, move an application. So they withdrew that clause from CPC, that it is causing delay from the reports of High Court. Now, production of documents. In every case, that application is filed, and every case the court adjourns it for reply, then keeps it for arguments, then hear the arguments. It's, you see, how good and bad law is not only the statute which matters. It is the people who implement, that is the police and the judiciary, how they look at it. Why don't they dispose of the application on the first day? Mm-hmm. If someone is asking documents, put up the file over there, call the parties, tell them, give them the documents. Why you call for reply, call for arguments? You are increasing your job, increasing your work. So there are many procedural ways which can be introduced by the courts themselves for a speedy implementation. And if they feel that police is misusing the provision of law, then magistrates should come on heavily on that. But they don't come. This is the problem.
Like you also said that if police is misusing the pass, even experts recently, they had quoted that this new laws, they have given some pass to the enforcement agencies, and which they say that it can be prone to misuse. So what kind of pass are those?
It is both ways. The question is, police needs enough teeth to deal with the criminals. At the same time, every accused person needs protection against misusing the provisions of law. So it's a double-edged weapon. Now, powers are needed, but power has to be used judiciously. So it is up to the hierarchy of the police to ensure that that's happening. Now, for example, I tell you, you have a case of this prenatal diagnostic test. You can't do it. Now, there is a provision under the Special Act. Police cannot take cognizance. Complaint has to be filed by civil surgeon, that is a nodal authority described under the law, and that's a board which is constituted by the rules. But police register the case under 420, which is not made out. Police arrests the people. Court keep giving the remand. No court is ready to listen now today, and this is unfortunate part. The question is, the whole organs of the judicial system should be well oiled and working appropriately, properly in the interest of justice. So the interest of justice is a sufferer, whether the police exceeds the authority or the court doesn't apply its mind, take it casually. So things happen.
So in the last, what is your take on this, final take on this 3 criminal laws, whether it is good or whether there was need of this new laws, or government can even make amendments in the previous Indian Penal Code and other laws?
This is virtually amendment. By giving a new name, this is the 80% of it is the old wine in new bottle. So you will have a comparative tables look. old section, new section. What does it mean?
Right.
It's the same. It's the crime, types of crime are same in the world. In the Vedic times, it was same. Medieval time, it was same. Today, it is same. It hasn't changed. Now, the question is, you make a law for a checks and balances. Then this whole machinery, then you have to have a police to investigate and do everything on behalf of state, as in India. You can't have a private prosecutor. So then there is a court which ultimately sniffs the evidence available and passes a judgment. So the whole system has to work properly. The whole system is not working properly. Now, certain amendments were high time, it was the need of hour. But now, once you are making an IPC, new IPC, penal code, whatsoever you may call it now, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, why don't you include Corruption Act under it? You could have introduced as a chapter, trademark infringements, prenatal diagnosis. There are hundreds of legislations on the bookshelves created by the parliament, and they keep generating new laws every year, every session. The number of bills which are introduced. Why don't you make one penal code? Why? Why confusion? Why overlapping powers? Despite the fact that there is a separate law for trademark infringements or the trade name or the passing off, still police register case under 420. Who will stop them? So you should have in one with the clarity. Why not you have a narcotics act? Why? There should be a chapter in this also. Right. Earlier, the Excise Act was a different act. So infringement of excise, someone makes alcohol or sells that. Then the Opium Act was there. So at old times, you can introduce in this act itself. Make it a one book.
Right. Exactly. So he was a senior advocate, Harish, right, Dhanda, and according to him, 80% of the sections, these are same in this new 3 criminal laws. Although the names have been changed, and it will take some time to just remember those new names. Otherwise, 80% of the laws are same, and some new things have been added up, which are good for like for the like technology part and etc. So it was need of the time, but there are some things which are impractical as of now also. So according to him, all enforcement agencies and judicial system, they need to work together to this curb the crime. So you are watching The Savera. Amarpal Singh with cameraman Manoj Sidhu.